In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create that classic beer pour shot you've probably seen in ads. I'll show you exactly how to pull it off and throw in some cool tips so you can create your own pour shots at home. Oh, and just a quick reminder, I won't hassle you to hit that subscribe button just yet. But if you like what you see, I might give you a little nudge later on. Cool? All right, let's go. Hi everybody, I'm Kirsten Lutz and you're watching Platypod TV, brought to you by Platypod, where innovation never sleeps. So what exactly is a pour shot? Basically, it's when you film or photograph liquid pouring from a bottle or glass, or even onto food like pancakes or waffles. You see all the time in food photography and in advertising. Now, I recently got back from Germany, where I had the chance to visit the famous Hofbräuhaus in Munich. Super fun, by the way. So I thought it'd be perfect to use a beer pour shot as our example today. Now that I'm back in the UK, though, I couldn't get my hands on a traditional German beer, so I found a popular local choice, Birra Moretti. Hope that makes our Italian viewers happy. In this video, I'll break down the actual shoot, and in part 2, we'll get into the details of editing everything together in Photoshop and Lightroom. Let's get started. All right, like with any shot, the props are key. For this one, I'm using a classic Moretti glass. It's perfect for the look I'm going for. And of course, it matches the Moretti beer bottle. Quick tip, always have a few extra bottles on hand, just in case something goes wrong. Before we start shooting, we've got to prep the props. Prep the props. Prep the props. To give the glass a nice, fresh look, I'm going to create condensation using a simple trick. A 50-50 mix of glycerin and water in a spray bottle. This helps the droplets stick around so you don't have to worry about them disappearing mid-shoot. Now for the beer bottle, we need to make a pretty big adjustment. Since we're filming the beer pouring out, we're actually going to remove the bottom of the bottle. This way, we can pour the liquid in from the back and get that smooth flow into the glass. But before I show you how, let me just say safety first. Be careful with this, okay? So to get started, tie a piece of string around the bottom of the bottle where you want the cut to happen. I'm using simple twine or parcel string. It works great for this. Then take the string off and soak it in a flammable liquid like acetate for about 10 minutes. Once that's done, put the string back on the bottle and light it up. Let it burn for a minute or so, and then dunk the bottle into a bucket of cold water. The sudden temperature change will make the bottom pop right off. It's actually surprisingly easy. Now that our props are all set, it's time to start building the shot. Let's talk about the background first. Instead of going with a plain white or black background, I wanted to bring in some color. Since the Moretti logo has a lot of red and green, I decided to go with a green backdrop. I also wanted to add a bit of focus by creating a circular vignette with a hotspot right behind the glass to really draw attention to the beer. And for that, I did it directly in camera using some diffusion and my Godox 8400 studio strobe with a 7-inch reflector and a grid. But you can actually do this with a regular speed light, no problem at all. To get that smooth, gradual light fade, I used 2 diffusers spaced a few inches apart. You can easily control the size of the hotspot by moving the light closer or further away from the diffuser. To get that nice green color, I used a green gel over the light. And to add a bit more atmosphere, I placed the glass on a shiny tile to get a cool reflection underneath. Let's just quickly go through my camera settings for this shoot. My camera is set to 1/200th of a second, f13 at ISO 100 throughout. And I'm using a 105 lens with a camera on a tripod. All right, now that everything's set, we're ready to shoot. The first thing we'll do is create a basic backplate with all our props in place. This is super important because we'll be using this shot as the foundation to composite all the other elements during editing. I'm going to start by positioning the glass, and then I'll get the bottle in the right spot for the pour. To keep the bottle in place, I'm using a Platypod Extreme with a handle, an elbow, and a mini clamp at the end. This lets me position the bottle exactly where I need it. This shot gives us a silhouette of the bottle and a nice outline of the empty glass. To make the glass stand out, I've placed some black poster board on either side, which gives the edges a nice clean outline. Next, we'll fill the glass with some delicious Moretti. To create a nice glow inside the glass, I'll remove the green gel from the light. At the same time, we want to make sure the Moretti logo on the front of the glass is well lit, along with the details on the front of the bottle. For that, I'll add a strip box with a Godox 8200 at a 45-degree angle above the set. This lights up the bottle, but we'll need a bit more light on the bottom half of the label. To fix that, I'll create another shot and use a bit of aluminum foil to bounce light up onto the lower part of the label. And to give our bottle a little more je ne sais quoi, I light it from behind through the diffuser a few times, just for a bit of inner glow. With these few shots, we've got our basic image. The only thing left is the actual pour, and I'll show you how to do that next. But before we get into the final part, you can help us out by hitting that subscribe button down below. It'll help this video being seen by many more people. Such as the YouTube algorithm, let's beat it together. Getting the perfect pour shot takes a bit of trial and error, and honestly, it's all about taking a bunch of shots. Set your camera to burst mode, and if you can, use a remote trigger. The lights I'm using recycle really fast, which is great because it ensures the lighting stays consistent for every shot. Keep in mind that the recycle time and flash duration are directly linked to your flash power. The lower the power, the shorter the flash duration, which is key to capturing a sharp pour, and the faster your flash will recycle. I've set both of my flashes to 1/16th power, which is working well for this setup. Once everything's ready, start pouring and hit that trigger. Take as many shots as you need until you're happy with what you've captured, and you've got that perfect dynamic pour. And there you go. That's all the elements we need to pull together one awesome image. In the next video, I'll show you how to composite all these shots in Lightroom and Photoshop. There you have it, folks. I hope this video gave you some ideas and inspired you to create your own pour shots at home. Now, if you want to learn more about photography, check out my podcast, the Camera Shake Podcast, where I've talked to pros like Freddie Clark in detail about how they create their amazing images. And if you're not yet following the Camera Shake Podcast, then what are you doing? Check it out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever awesome podcasts live. You'll find all the links in the description below. As always, take a snapshot of your setup or share your final shots on Instagram. If you've been experimenting with Platypod gear or try out the lighting setups we've discussed today, I want to see your creations. Make sure you tag Platypod on Instagram and use the hashtag #PostMyPlatypod. And if you like this video, we have a button specifically for you right here. Join the community over on Facebook to see what other Platypod users are up to, and ring the bell so you don't miss our regular videos. That, my friends, is all for today. Keep creating, and I'll see you next time.